Avi Loeb makes a huge discovery. Politicians talk UFOs. There's a cool UFO video and more. It's time for another UFO news roundup. So get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, there's a PayPal button below, or you can become a channel member. See the first link in the description below. Okay, Avi Loeb has discovered these little globules under the sea, and they are from an interstellar origin. That's right, they are from out of our solar system, and it is big news. He thinks this may actually be some technological device, some sort of Voyager type thing that has crashed into the Earth and is now being studied. So let's hear him talk about it a little bit.
So how confident are you that it isn't from this solar system, and how significant is that? What does that mean?
Very confident. This is the first time that scientists analyzed materials from a large object, 0.5 meter in size, that came from outside the solar system. More interestingly, this object was moving really fast, faster than 95% of the stars in the vicinity of the sun. And moreover, it had material strength that was tougher than all other space rocks recognized by NASA over the past decade. So that raises the possibility that it may be a Voyager-like meteor. Imagine Voyager colliding with a planet like Earth and burning up in its atmosphere. It would look like a meteor with an unusual material strength and unusually high speed because of its propulsion. And so what we want to figure out ultimately is whether it was technological in origin.
Right.
But to figure it out, we need a bigger piece of the...
Well, I hope he gets a bigger piece. I think this is a very exciting event, not in terms of understanding the phenomenon, but in terms of engaging the public interest. I think people that are on the fence about the UFO phenomenon, that are more mainstream, normie kind of guys, like I used to be a few years ago, might take this sort of discovery more seriously than the crazy stuff. People having dog fights with UFOs and having crazy extra-dimensional experiences. You know, that may be harder for them to reckon with. The UFO crash retrievals, alien bodies, but finding some pieces of an interstellar Voyager, an alien version of Voyager or something like that, that has now been found by Avi Loeb, I think they take that much more seriously, and they can reckon that, they can incorporate that into their reality a lot easier. So kudos, Avi. Keep going. I hope you find that bigger piece. In other news, ABC News is reporting that an Israeli food tech company says it has 3D printed the first ever ready-to-cook fish fillet using animal cells cultivated and grown in a lab. Yeah, I know it's not UFO news, but it's interesting. I mean, I guess this is a good thing, right? I mean, you know, we get to eat animal cells that an animal didn't have to die for. I mean, that doesn't look super appetizing, but hey, you know, progress. Meanwhile, we have several politicians being outspoken about the UFO topic. Yeah, we all saw Chris Christie laugh it off, but not everybody is laughing it off. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, who you may remember from the hearing, who had some really good questions. She was recently asked about the UFO topic, and let's listen to a little bit of what she said. It's a 5-minute interview. I'm just going to play a little segment of it.
Everybody's paying attention to it.
Maybe one of the top, absolutely one of the top most important stories in U.S. history.
I think so too.
And it's not about Little Green Man, and maybe it is, but it's not right now. It's about the money laundering of the federal government, putting it into these black box programs, and the government obfuscating the law by using private contractors. And if this stuff exists, the American people ought to know. And it's about technology. It's about science. It's about how do you bend the laws of physics to move that fast through the sky? Do we have that technology, or has China developed it? Is this AI? What is this? And so from that perspective, it's one, the American people should never be lied to. And two, how are their dollars being spent and invested?
Okay, well, whether it's little green men or it's technology or programs being hidden from Congress, whatever gets them interested in this topic and invested in this topic and allowing them to talk about it openly, because she may very well believe in little green men, but she's going to try to, be as mainstream about it as possible and talk about hidden money, which is definitely important, and it is definitely something that is galvanizing members of Congress to actually get into this. Things are being withheld from Congress, and they are not happy about it, whether it's alien or not. Recently, Congressman Jeff Duncan was also asked about this.
Jeff Duncan's Faith and Freedom Barbecue was held last night in the upstate. Before he took the stage, we were able to speak to the congressman and ask about the recent UFO hearings on Capitol Hill.
I went in those hearings. I've talked to some of my colleagues. They're very intrigued about it. They believe what they have heard. We'll see. It's kind of exciting to think about that. I don't know what the truth is. I think the truth's out there.
Former Air Force.
Okay, so he says it's exciting to think about, and even though he's smiling, he's not laughing this off. I take that as a very encouraging sign. Meanwhile, Vivek Ramaswamy is tweeting about UFOs. He actually tweeted a little segment from Need to Know with Bryce Bell and Ross Coulthart, where they actually talk about him. And he says, Chris Christie made a joke of UAPs during the debate. Reality, this issue has been raised by credible and decorated members of our military and is currently being investigated by Congress. We deserve a government that stops lying to its people and just comes clean about what we know and what we don't. About WMDs in Iraq, about the 2008 bailouts, about the Trump-Russia collusion hoax, about the origin of COVID, about Hunter Biden's bribes, about how our money is being blown in Ukraine. We can't handle the truth, and we deserve a government that gives it to us. Now, I realize that's a very political position he's taking, but at least it's a pro-transparency position and a pro-getting to the truth about UFOs position. He says we deserve a government that stops lying to its people. Imagine that. In other news, the woman that saw a man that wasn't there is getting back on board planes.
I gotta ask you, how does it feel to be traveling again?
Great.
In the airport again after what you went through?
A little bit of anxiety, but it's been good. Yeah.
Are you doing anything differently, like when you're getting ready to travel, or was there any new techniques you used?
No.
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 And a lot of people are curious.
Yeah.
What exactly you saw, because you alluded to what you saw, but we just want to know, what did you see?
Thanks for asking that, but I have been told I cannot comment on it right now.
I see.
Okay, she can't talk about it right now, but she does go on to say she may do more interviews and stuff in the future. So I'll be very curious to hear what she says, what really went down on that plane. Meanwhile, I'm very excited that Lance Corporal Jonathan Wygan, that I talk about all the time, that had his amazing encounter in Peru with a downed UFO, and then he was arrested by the Air Force or the control group or whoever, and actually taken to their local hub of operations where they were retrieving UFOs and doing God knows what else. He came away thinking that they were funding themselves through the black market, which of course has been backed up by Michael Herrera, the Stephen Greer witness. And well, it seems like because of the David Grush testimony that now the Lance Corporal is coming out of the woodworks, and he is going to be making a public he's going to be giving a public interview. And so I'm very excited about that. I think that his case is very important to understanding not only the UFO phenomenon, because he actually encountered and interacted with a being, but also the control group and how the control group interacts with the phenomenon and with UFOs. Did it shoot down that UFO? What did he see when he was taken back to the local hub of the control group operations? All extremely important stuff, so I can't wait for him to come forward once more. Meanwhile, there's been a new analysis of the interview, the supposed interview with this alien being. And I've done a full interview or full video on that interview recently. because the former candidate for governor, Jon Stewart, had come out saying that he had investigated this video extensively during the pandemic and found people that actually had made it and were connected to making this video and actually interviewing this being. And that Colin Powell was in the room during this encounter and all sorts of stuff. And he says that his sources had confirmed that this was the interview that members of Congress were shown that left them shaking. Now, the Juan, who is a terrific UFO researcher, is sharing this video, and I'll link to it in the description, where the conclusion of the analysis of the video is that the poster is concluding that it's likely a fake. Now, he doesn't have any hard evidence about that. That's just his conclusion. I think it's still an open question, and I would love some real clarity on this. Is this actually an alien we're looking at or not? To wrap it up, we've got a really interesting UFO video of a possible UFO shoot down over Scotland in 2018. Check this out. Loud bang, noticed a UFO. Was it shot down? I'm not sure why they are saying shoot down. I'm not seeing like any jets or anything shooting at it. They're saying it looks disoriented. I mean, how can you tell? I mean, sometimes these objects just act so bizarre. Yeah, how would you know what was disoriented and what's not? And they do all sorts of funky maneuvers, so I'm not convinced that it's disoriented or that it was shot in any way. But I mean, it looks like credible footage. It's definitely not a meteor. It's not a plane. Could it be CGI? It's so hard to tell these days. That certainly doesn't look CGI. But you know, if you guys are CGI experts, let me know what you think in the comments below. Could that be some sort of plane trailing flares or something? Is that possible? Because it's not going super fast or doing anything that a plane couldn't do. But man, that doesn't look like a plane. It's the way it went back and forth. That's not a plane. Could it be a helicopter? Spewing flares and gas. To me, that doesn't seem likely, but I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I think that's an incredible footage. I really do. But let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. We got Avi Loeb's major discovery, interstellar object being discovered for the first time that may, in fact, be technological. We've got multiple politicians coming forward talking about UFOs and not smirking about it, actually taking it seriously. We've got a great UFO. We've got the lady that saw a guy that wasn't there going back on planes, so watch out for her if you're traveling in the near future. And if you've enjoyed this wrap up, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the like button and the subscribe button to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. I would love to see you guys on social media. And if you could share this on social media, Facebook and Twitter, that'd be super helpful. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, there's a PayPal button below. That would be super helpful, or you could become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much. And there's plenty of other videos to check out on the channel. I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road signing out.